is your vision for creating an entrepreneurial mindset among today's students?
Now, Indira is a 32-year-old education group based out of Pune in higher education. Over the years, we also went into school education. So today we are literally a kindergarten, KG to PG educational group. Way back in 2010, Indira realized the importance which we as an emerging economy would have an emphasis where entrepreneurship would play a big role.
So what kind of entrepreneurs and future leaders does India need today?
So India needs entrepreneurs which are solving Indian problems in Indian manner.
Every big business starts with one thing, an idea. But turning that idea into something real takes more than just ambition. It takes the right skills, confidence, and most importantly, the right environment. And that's where education can make a real difference by encouraging students to think differently, take risks, and turn ideas into action. So what does it take to build the entrepreneurs of tomorrow? Today we have with us Professor Chetan, CM of Indira University and Academic Advisor of Indira University and Indira Group of Institutes, and Dr. Dipanjay Bhalerao, Director of Swakiyam Centre of Incubation and Innovation, to talk about entrepreneurship, innovation, and how education institution can shape the next generation of young leaders. Welcome, sir.
So, sir, for you, what is your vision for creating an entrepreneurial mindset among today's students?
So, very good morning. And of course, that question which you asked about creating an entrepreneurial mindset. Now, Indira is a 32-year-old education group based out of Pune in higher education. Over the years, we also went into school education. So today we are literally a kindergarten, KG to PG educational group. Way back in 2010, Indira realized the importance which we as an emerging economy would have an emphasis where entrepreneurship would play a big role. So we were the first institute in Pune to have one of the longest running business plan competitions called Entrepreneurship, which we started way back in 2011. It's still very much one of the top business plan competitions in the country, where we have more than 500 entries coming in from the top business schools, some of the top engineering, regional, as well as the IITs. And it kind of brings out that entrepreneurial spirit, gives that first step to students to come up with a business plan, which I feel is the beginning of the journey. When we became a university last year, naturally we wanted to build up on this foundation which we had created, and we launched our Incubation and Innovation Center called Swakiyam. I have with me Dipanjay, who's the director and heading the Incubation and Innovation Center. And that is a natural outcome of our belief in creating an entrepreneurial ecosystem for young generation to who aspire to start up a product or a service, to be guided and mentored through Swakiyam. And our first cohort is already graduating in this next couple of months, sir.
Yes, sir.
And there are some all beautiful products and services which they have already put out in the market and are at different stages of incubation.
Sir, beyond academic qualifications, what qualities do you believe young people need to succeed as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so thank you, sir, for putting it perspective. I have been in the corporates, and later on I shifted to academics, and in my academics life, I have also started mentoring the startups. So in that context, I think few qualities are very critical for students to make their successful careers. The one is looking at problems as the opportunities is very, very critical, which gives them opportunity to solve the problems and go ahead and build solutions and probably build good companies for society. Second is when they solve the problem, they need not think it from the conventional lens, but they can also think it from an innovative lens. So they need to always look at the problems and opportunities from a lot of innovative mindset. That can be a second good quality. And the third good quality that I see, which students can build in themselves, is a sort of collaborative mindset. They can think all the stakeholders from the collaborative point of view, and which will help them to build a lot of good network across the industry. These three are the qualities that I feel, apart from the academic education, students should definitely build on.
How can universities create an environment where students are encouraged to innovate, experiment, and take calculated risks?
So like I said earlier, creating an incubation and innovation center, which not only offers an environment for students to come forward and experiment with their ideas. But what we have been able to achieve through this, we have a chairman who's heading the Incubation Center strategy, who is a Harvard alumnus. And he brings in an experience of not only global knowledge and a global network of people who act as mentors to the students. So what we are offering the students today through Swakiyam is an environment which is pretty unparalleled in terms of the mentorship and the technical support, the financial capability which it has to generate venture capital, seed funding, which are very much you could say, the foundations required for any young student today who wants to walk the path of entrepreneurship. So I feel that creating an ecosystem is very, very important. And even before that, what we do through our own faculty mentors and our team and the curriculum which we have developed is we get students to get that confidence which is necessary to walk that path. A very less percentage of students today in India are supported by their families and by their peer system to walk that path of entrepreneurship, because the statistics are not in favor. If you go to see, everyone says that not more than 5% of the startups last more than a period of 2 to 3 years. And that's where it's important to give them confidence, not be afraid of the fear of failure. Today, I think these qualities, if we can make the students understand through this ecosystem, then we are getting the right mindset ready for them to become entrepreneurs.
So what kind of entrepreneurs and future leaders does India need today?
So India needs entrepreneurs which are solving Indian problems in Indian manner, right? We always, India has been traditionally looking at solving Indian problems from the foreign lens, okay? But you see all the developed countries who have solved their own problems, they have always solved the problems for their country and solving their own problems. That makes entrepreneur a very, very successful and scalable business in their own country. So I'll give you an example of, Sarvam AI, which has now solved the problem of sovereignty in the data, where we see that more foreign companies of AI genre are coming in India. We are at the risk of data sovereignty, right? But when Sarvam AI came into picture, such entrepreneurs are solving the problem for India, for our society. And when we have such more entrepreneurs, I think that will create a lot of growth and prosperity for India.
So what's your thought?
So I want to add on this. I have a take. I of course endorse the view which Dipanjay talked about. But I feel today there are 3 very broad categories on which India is going to look at the next wave of entrepreneurs coming from. The first one being what our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has said, and which even our chairperson at Indira very strongly believes in. It is her vision which actually gave us the idea to create Swakiyam, and her brainchild, I would say. They both believe in what we have always thought is the next wave of entrepreneurship, which is the orange economy or the creative economy. So, they say there's a very famous quote which says, creativity is intelligence having fun. It's high time the Indian youth and the Gen Z, which we talk about, have reached that stage where they want to contribute to an economy where their creativity is given a free flow. So we are talking about animation, gaming, esports, India becoming the next, capital for creating global animation movies or global movies with the best special effects in the world, which India has already been doing for a long time, but now really becoming leaders in that space. So I feel that's one big wave which is coming, the creative economy. The second, I would say, of course, there would always be a space which is technology driven. So when Sir talked about AI playing a role, yes, that will continue to boom. But besides that, I feel there is the third space, which is a space where more and more of the young generation is believing in something which is called as a sustainable products and service offerings. So products which keep into account environmental sustainability, societal inclusiveness, and of course, ethical governance. So the ESG fundamentals of sustainability coming in, there's a huge generation focusing on that. So I believe not all product services are necessarily going to solve problems, but they'll offer more ethical products and services to the consumer who's getting more inclined towards that. So these are the 3 areas which I see the biggest growth happening in the next decade or so.
So when you look at the students of Indira University today, what do you hope they become when they graduate?
They become very, very, I would say, very proud citizens of the country. We want them to be that, believe in the India story. India is an economy and a nation which is heading quickly towards India at 100, right? 2047 will be celebrating India's 100 years. And I would want our students to contribute to that growth of India being emerging as a inclusive economy and an inclusive superpower. I feel that's very important for me. Inclusiveness in all the aspects which define a good society. Inclusiveness in education, inclusiveness in healthcare, inclusiveness in, of course, economy and finances, and inclusiveness in tolerating the diversity which we bring to the table. It's very important. And of course, this is all on the basis of whether you select a career or you become an entrepreneur and decide to create employability. Because when I say inclusiveness, if you don't have employability which is created through an entrepreneurial framework, India is going to face challenges going ahead with the huge population that we have.
So, what role do you believe Indira University can play in shaping the next generation of entrepreneurs?
Yeah, so when we say multidisciplinary environment, like the way Indira, a leading higher education, premium education university in this part of the world, in this part of the country, I feel that orientation, I'll give you an example about, say, when we learn business, okay? So we have been learning different skills and different education fields from practicing that part of, right? So Indira University and such universities rather can play a role by giving opportunity to learn by practicing. So we can have an environment where learning business can be done by doing business. So giving them more exposure to corporate world, giving more exposure for them to do things rather by sitting in just a classroom, giving them more exposure through case studies, through solving industry problems, getting into the innovation problems of industry, and giving them more opportunity to be a part as a collaborator with the industry. Such environment can be very, very nutritious and very, very supportive to create future entrepreneurs. And I think today's universities can play a big role by bringing in such a collaborative atmosphere where government, industry, society, innovators, regulators can come together, and academia can play a great role of a platform, where all these people will come together and support the student of tomorrow to become a great entrepreneur by providing them such opportunities of, learning business by doing business. That's what is my thought, And Indira has been doing this very prominently. Swakiyam is a great example of that. We have been always promoting education through not just by, learning as a knowledge, but always giving a lot of corporate exposure to, learning process.
Thank you so much. You want to add something?
I'm good. This will become a podcast otherwise.
Thank you, sir,
Thank
so
you.
much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Building an entrepreneur takes more than a business idea. It takes the right ecosystem, the right guidance, and the right confidence to take that first step. And with institutions like Indira University nurturing innovation and ambition, the entrepreneurs of tomorrow may already be sitting in today's classroom.